You're sitting across from her at dinner, or maybe beside her at a quiet bar, and something shifts. The conversation feels different. She leans in just a little more than necessary. Her hand brushes yours when she reaches for her glass, and it stays there a fraction longer than it should. Most men would miss it entirely. Younger guys would overthink it or move too fast. But you've been around long enough to recognize what's actually happening. She's not just comfortable, she's inviting. And the signals she's sending aren't loud or obvious. They're forbidden in the sense that most people would never admit they exist, never talk about them openly because they operate below the surface of polite conversation. But they're real. And when you know how to read them, everything changes. I'm going to walk you through 7 of these signals. The ones that tell you she wants you to touch her, to close the distance, to take the lead. Not because she'll say it out loud, but because her body, her energy, and her behavior are already telling you. If you want more insights like this, go ahead and subscribe to Mature Instincts, where we talk about the hidden signals most people miss. Let's start with something simple but incredibly revealing. She removes barriers between you. This isn't about her moving her purse off the table, though that can be part of it. It's about how she positions herself in space relative to you. If she's sitting across from you and she leans forward, rests her arms on the table, or shifts her body so there's nothing blocking the direct line between your torso and hers, that's deliberate. Women are deeply aware of personal space, more so than most men realize. When she eliminates the physical and psychological barriers between you, she's signaling openness. She's saying without words that she trusts you, that she wants you closer. Now compare that to a woman who keeps her arms crossed, her bag on her lap, or her body angled slightly away. That's protection. But when she opens up, when she removes every little obstacle, she's creating a pathway. And here's what most men don't understand. She's not doing this consciously most of the time. It's instinctive. Her body is responding to how safe and attracted she feels. Your job isn't to pounce on that signal. It's to notice it, to register that the door is open, and to move forward with calm confidence when the moment is right. Then there's the way she touches herself in your presence. And no, I don't mean anything provocative. I'm talking about the small unconscious gestures women make when they're attracted and want to draw your attention to their body. She runs her fingers along her collarbone. She adjusts her necklace slowly. She touches her neck, her wrist, her thigh. These are what psychologists call self-soothing gestures, but in the context of attraction, they serve a dual purpose. Yes, she's calming herself because she's nervous or excited around you, but she's also directing your gaze. She wants you to notice her skin, her neck, the softness of her hands. It's an invitation to imagine your hands there instead of hers. The key is recognizing the difference between anxious fidgeting and sensual self-touch. Anxious fidgeting is fast, repetitive, and disconnected. Sensual self-touch is slow, deliberate, and she often makes eye contact while doing it or glances at you to see if you're watching. When you see this, it means she's thinking about touch. She's priming both of you for physical contact. And the mature response isn't to immediately reach out and grab her hand. It's to let the tension build, to hold her gaze, to let her know with your presence that you see what she's doing and you're in no rush. Another signal that's easy to miss if you're not paying attention is how she positions herself for accidental touch. She sits close enough that your knees could brush. She stands next to you with barely any space between your shoulders. She reaches for something in a way that requires her to lean into your space. These aren't accidents. Women are incredibly spatially aware, especially around men they're interested in. If she wanted distance, she'd create it. But when she consistently places herself within arm's reach, within touching distance, she's testing the waters. She wants to see if you'll initiate contact, if you'll let your hand rest on her lower back when you guide her through a door, if you'll let your knee stay pressed against hers instead of pulling away. And here's the thing, younger men often misread this. They either don't notice at all, or they panic and create distance because they're afraid of being too forward. But you know better. You understand that when a woman makes herself available for touch, she's not setting a trap. She's hoping you'll have the confidence and awareness to meet her halfway. So when you feel that accidental brush, don't flinch, don't pull back. Let it linger for a moment. Let her know you're comfortable with proximity, that you're not afraid of her. Now let's talk about eye contact, because this is where a lot of the real communication happens. When she holds your gaze longer than social norms require, she's doing something powerful. Eye contact is intimate, it's vulnerable. And when a woman locks eyes with you and doesn't look away, especially after a moment of silence or a shared laugh, she's inviting you into her space emotionally and physically. But there's a specific variation of this that tells you she wants to be touched. Watch what happens after the eye contact. If she breaks the gaze by looking down, especially down toward your hands or your chest, and then looks back up with a soft smile or a slight bite of her lip, that's a green light. She's imagining what it would feel like for you to reach out. She's giving you permission without saying a word. The mature man doesn't rush this moment. He doesn't immediately lean in or grab her hand the second he sees it. He holds the tension. He lets the moment breathe. Because the anticipation is part of the attraction. She wants to feel like you're in control, like you're aware of what's happening and you're choosing the right moment, not the impulsive one. Here's one that's so subtle, it almost seems like nothing, but it speaks volumes. She mirrors your movements and then amplifies them. If you lean back, she leans back. If you touch your face, she touches hers. Mirroring is a well-known sign of rapport and attraction. But when she takes it a step further and amplifies the movement, that's when you know she's ready for touch. Let's say you rest your hand on the table. She does the same, but she places her hand closer to yours, maybe even within inches. Or you shift your body toward her, and she not only mirrors that, but closes the remaining distance between you. This is her way of saying she's following your lead, that she trusts you to escalate, that she wants you to. It's a dance, and she's letting you know she's ready for the next step. The reason this works so well with older men is that you've learned patience. You're not in a hurry. You can recognize the rhythm of the interaction and move with it instead of against it. Then there's the way she reacts to your touch when you do initiate it. This might seem obvious, but most men don't pay close enough attention to gauge the response. If you place your hand on her lower back as you walk into a room and she leans into it, even slightly, that's acceptance. If you touch her hand during a conversation and she turns her palm up toward yours or interlaces her fingers, that's encouragement. If she touches you back immediately after you touch her, placing her hand on your arm or your leg, she's reciprocating and escalating. But here's what separates the mature man from the inexperienced one. You're not just looking for a lack of resistance, you're looking for engagement. A woman who wants you to touch her doesn't just tolerate it. She responds, she creates opportunities for more. She finds reasons to maintain the contact or to initiate it herself moments later. And if you touch her and she stiffens, pulls away, or changes the subject, you have the emotional intelligence to read that and respect it without making it awkward. You don't take it personally. You adjust. That's the advantage of experience. Finally, there's the way she talks about touch, comfort, and physical affection in casual conversation. Listen to the language she uses. If she mentions being cold, being tired, feeling tense, or needing to relax, she's often subtly inviting you to offer physical comfort. When she says her shoulders are sore, she's not just making conversation, she's opening a door. When she talks about how much she loves massages or how she hasn't felt truly relaxed in weeks, she's telling you what she needs and hoping you're perceptive enough to offer it. The key is not to be creepy or transactional about it. You don't immediately say, "I'll give you a massage." You acknowledge what she said, you let the moment settle, and then, if the context is right, you offer in a way that feels natural and thoughtful. Maybe you gently place your hand on her shoulder and say, "You do seem tense," or you suggest moving somewhere more comfortable where she can actually relax. The point is, she's giving you the opening. She's telling you what she wants without directly asking for it. And the mature man has the awareness to pick up on these cues and the confidence to act on them without hesitation or second guessing. So let's bring this all together. What you're really learning to recognize here is the difference between a woman who's simply being polite and a woman who's actively inviting you into her physical space. The signals are subtle because they have to be. Society doesn't make it easy for women to directly express physical desire, especially toward older men. So they communicate through proximity, through touch, through eye contact, through the stories they tell and the spaces they create. And the man who can read these signals, who can respond with calm confidence and perfect timing, is the one who stands out. Not because he's chasing, not because he's trying too hard, but because he's paying attention. Because he knows that attraction isn't built through words alone. It's built through presence, through awareness, through the unspoken understanding that happens when two people are genuinely connected. If you've been in enough situations like this, you already know what I'm talking about. You've seen these signals before, maybe without fully realizing what they meant at the time. But now you have the framework. Now you can trust what you're seeing and respond accordingly. The beauty of being an older man is that you don't have to guess. You don't have to play games. You've lived long enough to recognize real interest when you see it. And when a woman is giving you these signals, she's hoping you'll have the maturity and the confidence to act on them, not in a desperate or aggressive way, but in a way that feels natural, respectful, and undeniably masculine. So here's my question for you. Have you noticed any of these signals in your own interactions? Maybe there was a moment you recognized at the time, or maybe something you only understood looking back. Drop a comment and let me know what you've seen. I'm curious to hear your experiences, and if you found this valuable, Go ahead and hit the like button, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to Mature Instincts. This is where we break down the hidden signals most people miss, the psychology behind attraction, and the quiet advantages that come with experience. And I'll see you in the next one.